tapes over fake debates.
And we are live. SBtalksports, Sean Webb. Sean, it is that time of the week.
SB and Sean NFL picks of the week.
SB and Sean NFL picks of the week. We are back. NFL season. We are here. Sean, how you feeling that the NFL season is back?
Man, listen, it's a great time of year. Football's kicked off, and get ready to get some NFL in. So looking forward to it.
Okay, so week one, I know we got some key matchups. How many key matchups do we got this week?
We have 5 key matchups this week.
Ooh.
5 key matchups. Picking 14 games, but 5 key matchups.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into, before we get into the key matchup, let's go down the list of the regular games and who we got and who we picking.
All right. First game we got is Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati 5.5-point favorite.
Oh, okay. With Cincinnati, this is for this game. I'm looking more into, do the Browns really want to win? That's because I feel like this is a tank year for the Browns. But always the biggest question is always going to be answered is how the Bengals defense is going to play. You know what you're going to get on the offensive side of the ball with this team, with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. It's just if the defense can play average or okay at least, and then they could possibly get the job done. Because I can't see the Browns scoring enough points to even beat the Bengals. But how bad this Bengals defense is, it's still a possible way that we can see the Browns possibly put up 30 points against this defense. But for week one, I'm gonna go with the safe pick. And I'm going to take the Bengals, but this game I do have on upset watch, but I'm going to take the Bengals.
Yeah, I agree with you, SB. This game, I'm taking Cincinnati as well. I think Cleveland will try to play, really some ball control, try to ugly the game up a little bit, really try to keep that Cincinnati offense on the sideline for as much as possible. Again, you mentioned the issues with the Cincinnati defense. I just don't know if Cleveland can score enough in this game. So, yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati. I'm taking the Bengals by 4.
Bengals by 4. I got the Bengals. If they win it, I got to at least win about like a 10 piece, 10 touchdown in the Philly. And what's next on the list?
Next game on the list, Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 1.5 point favorites.
Wow, the Colts are actually your favorite against the Miami Dolphins. In this game, I actually got the Dolphins. At the end of the day, with the Colts, I like how they got like solid weapons on both offense and defense. But the main question is their quarterback situation. It's still Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones couldn't win games with the New York Giants. It's still an unknown of what type of play you're going to get with Daniel Jones. I can definitely see the Colts doing a heavy run favorite game to make the job easier for Daniel Jones, especially his first official game with the Colts as a starter. But I got the Miami Dolphins because at the end of the day, the only problem with Miami Dolphins was injuries with Tua. If Tua's out there, he does play great or solid when he's out there. And then they still got Tyreek Hill. I know it was still turmoils and things going on with this team. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins are a good enough team to beat the Indianapolis Colts, especially when healthy. I'm especially in an offensive pack game for these guys. I especially see a good explosion of a game on the offensive side of the ball from the Miami Dolphins. I think they're going to remind people of how great they was, at least with this game. Now, during the whole season, Sean, I can't 100% guarantee that. But this game, I'm going to take the Dolphins, and especially with the Dolphins being an underdog, I think this is an easy money game for the Miami Dolphins, for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, SB. Too many question marks about the Colts offense. I just don't know if Daniel Jones will move the ball enough up and down the field. I think, they got some weapons, Michael Pittman Jr., the rookie Tyler Warren, obviously Stewart. No, not Stewart. The running back. Why is the running back's name slipping me?
The Dolphins running back?
The Colts running back. I'm sorry. Why is it?
Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor. Thank you. I had a brain. I think about Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, you think about Stewart. Yeah.
Taylor. Jonathan Taylor, obviously, But this is again one of those games where I feel like Miami should win the game. I think it's gonna be an ugly game, to be very honest with you. And I do have some questions about the Dolphins defense, particularly just their edge rushers, haven't been healthy. And can they run the ball enough and be balanced enough to keep the Colts defense, on their toes? But I'm gonna take Miami, just because I think I have less questions about Miami than the Colts. I think this is gonna be an ugly game though. So I'm with you. I'm gonna take Miami in Indianapolis by 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially with them being the underdog, that's easy. That's an easy bet. Vegas giving you one for week 1. Yeah. What's next on the list?
Speaking of Vegas, Las Vegas Raiders at the New England Patriots. I would say this is an intriguing game for me. It's not a key matchup, but it's an intriguing game for me. But I want to hear your thoughts first.
For me, this is I'm gonna take my bias hate aside right now when I look at this game, because this is the game of the what if for me for both sides, because now you in Vegas, you got a new era of coaching quarterback, and this can cement how big of a threat the Las Vegas Raiders can be under Pete Carroll. This is a welcome to the we here moment for the Raiders. This is gonna let you know how big they are. Also, for the Patriots side, this is a new era for them too, and this is the second season of their quarterback. And this is where you can submit yourself to understand, hey, this is how good we're going to be as a Patriots. This game is definitely going to be closer than a lot of people think. I think it will be a great defensive game from both sides. I think both head coaches are great on the defensive side of the ball. So there's going to be a tough, hard-nosed, gritty game. It's going to come down to the wire. I don't think there's going to be a outlandish, outscoring type game for either both sides, just because how the style of coaching for both sides of coaching. I got the Raiders. I got the Raiders winning, but this is another game I got on upset watching. It's hard for me to pick the Raiders. I never want to pick the Raiders.
Yes.
Because only thing about the Patriots is still like, okay, what is the next step from Drake May going to be? Because at the end of the day, Geno Smith is already a veteran quarterback. They got weapons with Ashton Genty. I know they just lost Amari Cooper on the offensive side, but you still got Ashton Genty and you still got Brock Bowers. And Geno Smith is good enough to do the little things to get the job done in the end of a close game. That's the only reason I'm taking the Raiders. I feel like the game is going to be close, so I'm going to go with the vet at quarterback and the championship pedigree head coach, and Pete Carroll would know what to do with to get the job done on the defensive side of the ball. Now, if it's offensive on the 1 yard line, I don't trust him. But any other side besides that, then yeah, he do pretty good to get the job done. So
I'm gonna step out on a limb as being said. Pete Carroll will never ever make that mistake again.
No.
But
I think that was a call up top for that one, because I don't think he ain't that slow to do that.
No, I think they wanted some certain person to get the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah,
the one dude that didn't do media that whole time got to be holding the MVP trophy. They didn't want that to happen. They did not want that to happen.
Yeah. By the way, the Patriots are a 2.5-point favorite in this one. I'm actually gonna go with the Raiders in this one as well. Again, I think both teams are going to be really competitive this year. I think the Raiders are my sleeper team in the AFC just because of the Pete Carroll and Geno Smith factor. We've seen when a team has gotten a veteran coach and a veteran quarterback, what they're able to do after having, a down year the year before, when you had those two, positions stabilized. I think New England's going to be very good on defense. I think they're loaded defensively. But again, I do have some questions, particularly about outside, the weapons outside for Drake May. Travion Henderson is a name to watch, though, for the Patriots. I think he's going to be a guy, if you don't have him in fantasy, and not that we're doing fantasy picks, but if you don't have him in fantasy, if he's available in your fantasy league after this game, you're probably going to want to pick him up in fantasy. But that said, I'm taking the Raiders on the road. I just really, really believe in what they're going to be able to do, particularly offensively. Still, again, some questions about their defense, but again, I think they're going to be competitive. We know Max Crosby, and 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 I know they let Christian Wilkins go, but I think they're going to be, really solid defensively. Maybe not great, but really solid defensively. So I'm taking the Raiders in New England by 1.
All right. We didn't disagree on nothing yet so far, Sean, but I see it. I see it coming though.
It's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. Next game, Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints. Arizona are 6.5 favorite.
This is your say, Steve. I'll let you go first on this
one. So we've been doing this now. This is our 3rd year doing NFL Picks of the Week. SB, as you know, I generally make it a rule I do not pick against the Saints. This year, I'm going to wait. Just because it's going to be a very, very tough season.
Yes.
And Arizona is my sleeper team in the NFC. I picked Arizona as my sleeper team in the NFC. I'm taking the Cardinals in this one. I just think it's a prove-it year for Kyler Murray, and it starts on Sunday. Arizona's got a pretty favorable schedule to start this first half of the season. If they can get out to a good start, I think they put themselves at least in playoff positioning, going into the second half of the season. And again, I think this is a prove year, and I think that Arizona defense is going to be really, really good with some of the additions they brought in. Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Josh Sweat from the Eagles, Will Johnson, the corner they got in the second round. They're going to get some guys back healthy. I think they're going to be that team that a lot of people are not talking about right now. They're going to be talking about them later in the season. I'm taking the Cardinals in New Orleans by 10.
Yeah, I think this one was probably the easiest pick to make. I just don't trust anything that the Saints got going on. This is another team, like I think of the Browns, who are not trying to win this year. I feel like this is going to be a tank it out this year. Probably go see a lot of the younger guys get a lot of burn this year. I think it's just more of we need to figure out who's on this roster to stay for the long term. That's it. Also with the Arizona, I wasn't as high on Arizona as you were, but I do expect them to improve drastically on the defensive side of the ball more than anything this year. Like you said with Kyler Murray, this is a proven year. I feel like if Kyler Murray don't take that leap or do anything that's going to be catch a lot of eyes for them, I feel like this probably be his last year in a Cardinals uniform. I think they will possibly move on from Kyler Murray at this point, but this is a gimme game for the Cardinals. If this game is even a struggle type game, it's going to raise a lot of eyes, and it's going to be a lot of different I would say, like they say, furniture moving. It's going to be a lot of different furniture moving on this Arizona Cardinal roster in the future to come if this is a struggle type game for them. But I'm taking the Cardinals too.
Yeah. Next game, Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets.
Ooh, the revenge game for Aaron Rodgers.
And Justin Fields. Let me say, to give you the spread, Pittsburgh 2.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Pittsburgh, this is another game that I know everybody going to see. Aaron Rodgers, yes, he's going to come here, play against the Jets and just bombs away. It's not going to be like that. It's not. The new head coach of the Jets, I don't know why his name is drawing a blank right now to my mind. Aaron Glenn. He is a defensive. That's what he do. He's a defensive-minded coach. So this game is gonna be ugly. And then also it's the Steelers. The Steelers style of play of football is always gonna be ugly. This is gonna be an ugly game. Now the question: only way this game is gonna be close if Justin Fields plays or just cause havoc on the field. I just don't trust the Jets offense enough. Defensively, I think they're going to play outstanding. The Steelers defense is going to make it very hard for Justin Fields. I think whoever played better on the defensive side of the ball will win this game. Quarterback play will not drive who wins this. I just if Justin Fields cause havoc on the field with his legs and make quick plays and then throws the Steelers defense off, then that would throw a monkey wrench and everything. But realistically speaking, I see both of them probably having – when I'm talking about both of them, Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers, probably a subpar to average game, nothing outstanding that's going to catch an eye in the stat book sheet. I feel like defense will win this game. And right now, I think who has the more talent on the defensive side of the ball, we all have to agree that it is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers in a dirty game, probably win by at least like 2 field goals, probably like 6 or something. But yeah, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, this is an interesting game. Obviously, these are basically teams that swap quarterbacks, albeit one was a full-time starter, the other one just started part-time last season. I think the Jets, obviously, they're a team they want to run the football. They very clearly want to run the football. You know, can they again run the football enough to set up the play action game, ideally with Garrett Wilson and some of their other weapons. You mentioned the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. We know that's always going to be the calling card in Pittsburgh is their defense and their ability to run the football. Watch out for the combo of Caleb Johnson and Jalen Warren. I don't think they're going to ask Aaron Rodgers to go out and be Superman. They don't necessarily need him to go out and be Superman. They need him to just go out and play solid football. I'm one of those I actually think he's going to have a really solid season, but it's because they're going to lean heavily in what they do well. And so with that, I'm taking the Steelers on the road. I just think the Steelers need to get off to a good start, and it starts in New Jersey tomorrow. I'm taking the Steelers on the road by 3.
Steelers. All right, Michelle, what's next?
Next game we have is New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders are a 6.5 favorite.
I feel like this one, it's not too hard to think about it. You don't really have to look too crazy in this game. I just think I'm taking the Commanders right now. But also, this is the proven moment for Russell Wilson, too, to see what he can possibly do. But I just feel like he's just holding the fort down until they just throw Jackson Dart out there. This is one of those years with that team where they got who your future quarterback that you want to be. So I don't really see too much effort coming in on the Giants. This is another team on my list that probably is going to tank I won't necessarily purposely tank the year, or they're going to try to disguise it because it's the New York Giants, but I think this is another team who's going to tank the year away, not really trying to get too much wins, want to add more talent to the roster. At the Commanders, I added a lot of pieces to this team that they came off a dramatic year last year where nobody expected to be in the NFC Championship game. So this is a year where, hey, let's see what that real or this was Fugazi gold. But this is a game where I feel like this is a stepping stone for them to move in the right direction. It's not too hard to think about this game. I got the Commanders winning easily.
Giants, obviously have some injuries. Neighbors is expected to play. Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, is unlikely to play. Again, I think the Giants front seven is going to be really good. Can they keep the game within arm's reach where they can unleash that, front seven in particular? Again, I think they're going to be very solid defensively, if not good. But in Washington, the Commanders, I think, are going to come out. They're going to spread them out. They're going to basically allow Jaden Daniels to pick them apart. And so I'm taking the Commanders as well. I'm a little concerned about the Commanders' running game just because, again, they're going very young at running back. But that said, this is just, I think, the talent and the continuity wins out here. So I'm taking the Commanders at home by 7. Next game. This is another interesting matchup. Wouldn't say it was a key matchup, but another interesting matchup to me. Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I think it's crazy. It is week 1 because I was going to say a lot of stuff is like prove it and we for the seashore. But it's a lot of you got to prove it to be going on around here. One, I'm going to say this: the Panthers are playing with house money because the Panthers have been improving. And now this is a house money game where it's like, okay, we slowly grinding to get better. Nobody really expect too much from the Panthers. We just want you to improve from what you was last year. And that's not too much that you got to ask for them. The Jaguars, on the other hand, this is another Trevor Lawrence. Hey, where is the guy from Clemson that we thought you was? Also, I want to see how Travis Hunter is used. This is our first glimpse of seeing a player play on both sides in the NFL. We're gonna see how that actually works. But also, I wouldn't be shocked if Carolina Panthers defense make it give the Jacksonville Jaguars offense a hard time. I think that's where the Panthers' bread and butter is really going to come from this year, is on the defensive side of the ball. If they want to be better, I just don't get Bryce has improved. He, ever since he had got set down and better. But I think for the Panthers to get, I'm saying to get to a higher level, I think it's going to be a defensive side of the ball for them this year. But I'm going to take Jacksonville Jaguars. If they screw me over this one time, this is a game that you have to win for Jacksonville. This is a must win. If they mess up this game, I might not be picking them a lot this year. But I'm going to take Jacksonville. And this, I feel like this is a game they should win. I'm saying again, they should win. But you never know. So I'm going to take Jacksonville.
So Jacksonville, 3.5-point favorite. I'm actually taking Carolina in this game.
I'm not even mad at your pick. I'm not even mad at your pick.
I have Carolina pegged to win between 7 and 8 games this year. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be much improved. Again, the addition of Ted McMillan, with Xavier Legette on the other side, I think they're really, really solid, and they've really built a nice young receiving core for Bryce Young. We know their ability to run the football with Chuba Hubbard. They got Rico Dowdle kind of to be their change of pace back, probably more their third down back as well. Defensively, again, I think they'll be good. I don't know if they'll be great defensively, but I believe in Carolina. They showed when Bryce Young came back last season, they were in a lot of games, and it showed. This is why people were so excited about him. And I think, again, he and Dave Canales found a symbiosis in terms of what Bryce was comfortable with, but also just what Dave Canales wants to run. I don't think there's any question about, whether or not he's the future in Carolina. That I think he showed last season in some tough games that he's very much their future. So I'm taking Carolina on the road in Jacksonville. The Jacksonville defense it's no. So I'm taking Carolina on the road.
No, if Carolina defense can get above average, like I said, average won't be good enough. Above average and to make it like Bryce's job easier, the Panthers will have a solid year this year. Their defense has to be above average. Their defense can find a way to get better. I'm telling you that the Panthers be a team that I wouldn't really want to play in.
Right. Yeah. Next game, Tennessee at Denver.
Another game where the division rivals, I feel like I'm going against my grain. I usually go pick against them. I'm gonna say this, Sean. Do not, everybody who watch, do not let this game have you feeling down about Cam Ward. I'm telling you, don't feel bad about Cam after this game, because what the Denver Broncos defense finna do to this young rookie, y'all gonna make you feel like he wasn't working for. It's just this Denver Broncos defense is legitly the truth, and especially in coverage. This is gonna be one of the hardest games that he probably had ever in his career. I'm taking Denver. I think the defense is going to be shut down during this game. I expect Bo Nix to be solid, but Denver Broncos defense is going to be the money on this game. And Sean, I feel like they're going to give Cam Ward a hard time. Sean, this is going to be a bad game for Cam Ward for me. I'm seeing Denver winning this game. Cam probably make a lot of mistakes, but I feel like he will make it up for it in the future during the season. I just feel like he got a tough out defense the first week of his first NFL game. I'm taking Denver. And I got them winning fairly easily. And don't be shocked if Cam Ward at least had 1 or 2 interceptions, but I think he would still be fine.
Yeah, this game to me is going to come down to Tennessee's defense. Can they play solid enough against, obviously, what many people consider to be a high-powered offense in Denver?
I ain't worried about the offense. That defense, a rookie going against that defense.
Yeah, no, and they're going to be missing a couple of their guys. Drake Greenlaw is out for that game. Malcolm Roach, defensive tackles, out for that game as well for Denver. So, I mean, obviously, I think people were really high on Denver's defense. They were a top 5 defense last season. People expect them to continue to ascend. That remains to be seen. They're not going to sneak up on anybody this year, to be clear. So, but tough for a rookie quarterback to take an offense on the road to a place like Denver in the altitude. And again, I think Cam Ward's going to have a solid game, but I don't expect him to have a spectacular game, just yet. So I'm with you. I'm taking Denver at home, but I'm taking Denver at home by 6.
Okay.
And last
regular game.
Last regular game before we get to these key matchups, we got the San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco, a 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, this is gonna be a closer game, but at the end of the day, Seahawks fans, if you watch it, I know y'all added a little more pieces. Until I see it, I do not believe in the Sam Darnold, Minnesota. That I believe that is fool's gold. You're not gonna get that same guy in Seattle. If y'all do, y'all struck lightning in the bottle. I think the 49ers should win this game. They seem like more of the favorable team to get the job done, but it's a lot of question marks with this 49ers team. I'm gonna lean towards the 49ers. I feel like they should get the job done, even though I know it's in Seattle, so that is a tough place to win in general. That crowd be rocking in Seattle, but I see the 49ers coming in, getting the job done, and winning this game. But there's too many ifs with this right now. So, but I think 49ers is a safe pick for me, so I'm gonna go 49ers.
Yeah, this is obviously we're doing these picks the day before these games will be played. So, sometimes we don't know who's in and out. San Francisco, I do have questions about who's in, who's out. But I agree with you. I'm actually going to take the 49ers in this game as well. I think the Seattle offense is going to be okay. But I don't think Sam Darnold was an upgrade from Geno Smith, to be very frank.
No.
And whether we'll admit it or not, DK Metcalf was a physical freak that secondaries had to get ready for. They don't have that anymore. Jackson Smith and Jig was a really good receiver. Caught a lot of balls last year, but they don't physically threaten you outside like they once did at receiver. And yeah, I'm just going to take the Niners again. This is going to be, I think, a very close game, but I'll take the Niners in Seattle by 2.
Niners. Cool. Now it's time for the key games. All right. What we got? Key game on the list. How many do we disagree with so far? I know you're writing them down.
Just one.
There's one so far. Okay.
Just one, but I know we're probably going to disagree on a couple of these. We don't have the key matchups graphic anymore.
No, but I got to make a new one. I realized we got the key matchups though. But next week it will be here. No,
all good. All right. So first key matchup: Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. The Buccaneers are a 1.5-point favorite.
We already been agree on this because it's the tail of the tape of two quarterbacks that me and you are hiring. I like at the end of the day quarterback play. I rock with the head, and I've been big on Baker Mayfield, and every time you be big on Baker Mayfield, right? You big on Michael Penix, so I know you picking Atlanta. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers it's in Atlanta, and I know the Atlanta last year they played very good against the Buccaneers, but I can see Baker Mayfield and those guys coming in, getting the job done. Michael Penix is going to be his first true start, so it's still an unknown with him. I do think he's going to be great. He's one of the best passers out of his rookie class last year. But I think the Buccaneers is going to be a close game. I got the Buccaneers winning in a tight one. I trust Baker Mayfield more, and I actually trusted it. No, I ain't gonna go that far. I was gonna say I trust the Buccaneers defense more. I was gonna lie. I was gonna lie real quick. I was gonna lie to get my pick off, but no, I'm taking the Buccaneers mainly because I know you're taking the Falcons.
So these games last year were basically shootouts, particularly the one in Atlanta. Obviously, we had Kirk Cousins quarterbacking the Falcons last year in these two games. Now we have Michael Penix Jr. Quarterbacking these games. Just to point out, Michael Penix Jr. when he took over the Falcons offense last year, they jumped from 21 points a game to 32 points a game.
That's fine.
They're going to be explosive, and they're going to
they're
going to put up points. And I'll tell you this: and if you go back and you watch the film from both games last year, both of these games last year, where Atlanta really cut up was in the middle of the field. The Bucs defense was non-existent in the middle of the field. And again, some questions about health. Antoine Winfield. I do have some concerns about the middle of the field, middle of the defense. I know we've been saying his name for a few years now, but I think you're going to see in a game like this a guy like Kyle Pitts really emerge just because of his ability to work the middle of the field.
Please, at some point, turn it to the person we think you're supposed to be.
Well, and again, when Penix took over, his numbers actually went up. His targets actually went up. So again, I think you're going to see that to a degree continue in this game and in this season. The Falcons defense, I think, again, the Falcons are going to be really solid defensively. To me, and I don't want to sound blasphemous when I say this, the Falcons defense to me is built very much like the Colts defense in the mid 2000s. They're built to play with a lead because they're built with a lot of speed. They're going to get after you. They're going to try to beat you off the edge with James Pierce Jr. and obviously, they're young rushers, but I just think I just have questions about what the Buccaneers can do against Michael Penix to really rattle him. And we didn't even mention many people's offensive player of the year prediction in Bijan Robinson. His ability as a runner, receiver, top average year coming in to spell him. I like Atlanta at home. I think Atlanta's going to win this game, and it's not because of my distaste for that other team, but because I think Atlanta's they're just built to beat this team, and so we'll see. Again, I think the Bucs are going to be a good team. Not saying they're not. I think the Falcons are going to be a good team. But I like the Falcons at home.
It's going to be a 2-team race in their division. If we could just say that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm taking the Falcons at home by 4.
Okay. What's next on the key game?
Next key matchup, late afternoon, Sunday afternoon game. Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, this game is going to be a close one too, because this is another thing. It's the unknown. It's week 1, so obviously, but it's the unknown for both sides. And when I say both sides, I mean both sides, offense and defensively for both teams. For the Lions, the main thing is just the coordinator play. How different is this offense and defense going to look? You know how explosive their offense was. You know how solid their defensive game was. They lost both of their coordinators. They still got the main guy. They still got the head coach that they got. So the Lions are going to come to play. But the question is, what is going to be different? Are they going to run the same thing? When you usually have the same head coach but change coordinators, majority of the stuff usually kind of be the same. But obviously, every person have their own little special things or different things they like to run and differently do. So that's really the only big question marks for the Detroit Lions. And also how Aiden Hutchinson is going to look back off that gruesome injury that we had seen from last year. The Green Bay Packers, the main question is, we got the rookie Golden, how he's going to look. But the main question is Jordan Love. Is Jordan Love finally going to take that leap and he is the guy? Is he's going to show that he's the guy for the Packers? He had spurts last year where he looked at outstanding. Then he had spurts where he looked at like, ew. So we try to figure out, is Jordan Love is going to be the next Packers quarterback for the next 10, 12 years? Because, they don't really switch and change quarterbacks like that. Once you're the quarterback with the Packers, you're the quarterback for at least 10 years. Then next thing, too, obviously the biggest thing, they got Michael Parsons. how Michael Parsons is going to look, how he's going to be used week 1 with this Green Bay Packers team. Obviously, he just got there. Do you really want to just rush him back in there? Then also, how much had he learned on the defensive calls with this team because he just got there? So that's going to be the main thing. I want to see how Michael Parsons is used and how much he's going to be used this week 1 because he hasn't been really getting any football action in. So you don't want to just rush him out there. But I believe he's still in shape. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers only because they're at home. I do expect this game to be a close game. I'm still deciding if it's going to be a close game because it's going to be a shootout or it's going to be a gritty game. The fan in me wants a shootout, so I'm going to say the Packers win in a shootout.
Obviously, this is a divisional matchup. I'm going to step on a limb. I'm going to think, unless something crazy happens, every NFC North game is probably going to be a key matchup this season. I'm probably going to step on a limb and say that. That said, obviously we know Detroit, what you mentioned, the coordinators change. What's the offense going to look like? I think the offense is going to still have many similarities, as it did last year, but obviously, a lot of it's going to, I think, fall in the hands of Jared Goff. I think you're going to see the continued emergence of Jahmyr Gibbs, in particular, in this offense. And then Jameson Williams. Can he become that solid, pure number 2 to take the top off the threat, consistently for Detroit? That's what I'm going to be watching for. Green Bay, I mean, when I look at their roster, they don't have many weaknesses. The only concern I have is their corners. I mean, Nate Hobbs and Sean Nixon, they're solid, they're good, but I don't think they're not all world. They're not Jair Alexander, prime Jair Alexander. So can Detroit, attack those 2 guys enough to, give Green Bay some problems? And then obviously, we know the addition of Micah Parsons. Not sure if he's going to play tomorrow. I think if he does play, it'll probably be in limited snaps.
That's what I'm thinking too.
But that said, and with Green Bay's offense, you mentioned Jordan Love. Jordan Love's coming off of, had to have a wrist surgery. He's going to play tomorrow. How effective will he be off the wrist surgery? I expect Green Bay to really try to stay balanced. Again, they want to run. They want to be a balanced team anyway. They want to run the football with Josh Jacobs, and they want to, get the ball to their cadre of receivers and tight ends. But it's in Green Bay.
It's hard to win in Lambeau.
Yeah, it's hard to win in Lambeau, but this is a divisional matchup. These teams know each other very well.
Close game. It's going to be a close game.
I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to take the Packers at home by 2 in this one. I'm with you. Next game, Houston Texans at the LA Rams. Rams 3.5-point favorite.
This one is a close one to call too, because obviously about Matthew Stafford with the injury. I think he's going to be fine, but for me with the Texans, my biggest concern too is they lost some people on the line. Is how the O-line is going to be. That's my main thing about the Texans. It's going to be my biggest concern with them all this year is about the O-line play. Is their O-line is going to be solid enough for C.J. Stroud? And then obviously everybody was concerned. Well, everybody had high hopes for C.J. Stroud last year, but he had kind of like a sophomore slump. I just think he really didn't have a sophomore slump. Just everybody expected him to take off to an MVP level. It didn't really happen like that. Then L.A., they added Devontae Adams. They still got back to stuff. So, the team is going to be solid regardless all the way around with the Rams with Verse on the defensive side. They solid defensively, solid offensively. Texans, I'm still really concerned about the O-line. Really, that's the main thing with me that I'm worried about. I'm going to take the Rams. I'm going to go against my Texas pick. I was high on Texas last year. Kind of feel me. But I'm going to take the Rams at home.
You mentioned Matthew Stafford. Obviously, his health is paramount. A back injury for an older quarterback is always going to concern me. And Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson are coming.
Oh, yes.
and they're coming. And this Texans defense is legit.
That's legit.
I think they have, in my opinion, probably the best defense in the NFL that not enough people talk about. And again, when you look at DeMeco Ryans, what he's done, he's obviously a defensive guy. Came, played linebacker, was a defensive coordinator for a long time, so not surprised the Texans defense is really good. Questions about the Houston offense are legit. Basically a brand new offensive line.
I'm highly concerned for CJ Stroud. I'm not gonna lie.
That is the massive concern, is that new offensive line. Obviously they won't have Joe Mixon, as you mentioned. I'm very concerned, but I believe in that Texans defense. I believe in the Texans defense.
The Rams got some people that get back there too.
No. Listen, they do. No, they absolutely do. I think the Texans want to make a statement coming out this season. When we talk, obviously we talk about the AFC, we talk about, two teams we're getting ready to talk about, and the Chiefs as kind of those top three teams in the AFC. People don't put the Houston Texans in that conversation. And I think, they have earned the right to be in that conversation, given they've been one of the Final Four teams the last 2 years in the playoffs, in the AFC playoffs. So I'm taking the Texans on the road. This is I don't think it's an upset, but I'm gonna take the Texans in LA by 6.
All right. Next up, Sean.
Next game up, Sunday Night Football. Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. The spread is the Baltimore Ravens are 1.5-point favorites.
In Buffalo?
Yes.
Over the almighty Josh Allen? The almighty Josh Allen? The MVP? The savior?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. This is a game that is going to be explosive. Probably going to be the most fan favorite game of the week. And it's going to live up to it because everybody's going to be having an ass game. Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson is must-see TV, 100%. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a game nobody thought was going to be good, but I'm saying, like, this is going to be like the one mainstream game that everybody wanted to watch, and it's going to live up to the hype. It's going to be a great game. This is one tough one to call because it is in Buffalo, and it's tough to win in Buffalo. But I don't got my weather thing in Buffalo. I don't think it's no crazy weather playing so far in Buffalo, so it might be solid. I'm gonna take the Baltimore Ravens in this one, Sean. I think this is the time for the Ravens to make a statement, and this is the year they need to make their Super Bowl run. And this is the game that you need to stamp down and say, hey, this is our year. We are here. And for the Baltimore Ravens to do that, the Baltimore Ravens defense has to shut down Josh Allen. And if he come out that pocket, knock his head off. It has to be like that type of timing. You have to develop that old Ravens mentality, that old Ray Lewis and those boys type of mentality. For the Baltimore Ravens to get to where they want to be, Sean, their defense has to be the best defense in the league. And this is the game where you make that statement on the defensive side of the ball, saying that, hey, we are here. They need to stuff the run. James Cook and Josh Allen do not need to have a good game at all. I would rather see them turn the Buffalo Bills to a pass-only team. They need to literally shut down the run from Josh Allen and James Cook. Stuff the run, turn Josh Allen to a pocket passer, and I guarantee the Baltimore Ravens will win this game easily. This is the year for the Ravens. This is the game. Day one, make a statement against the guy who was the MVP last year, the guys that took y'all out last year. For you to make a statement to win and show that you guys are ready to win the Super Bowl, this is the guys you need to beat. This is the team you need to beat. And if you do it at home, this will set the standard for the Baltimore Ravens season right now. If they lose this game or look any part terrible, I'm gonna lose all trust in them. If you telling me this is the year, this is the Super Bowl, we need to get it. This is the game where y'all need to do it. So I'm taking the Ravens, and it's gonna be a great defense. I got the Ravens defense winning this game for them.
Yeah, this game, obviously, people are going to look back at the playoff game last year. Certainly, snow, weather, factored in, but I'll go back to when they played in Baltimore last year on Sunday Night Football, and the Ravens flat out dominated them. I mean, it was a flat out domination. Obviously, you start with, the Ravens' ability to establish up front Derrick Henry. This Ravens team, in my view, is the most talented roster in the NFL.
Ain't no excuse this year.
Obviously, been, short of there being major injury to, one of their key guys, they don't have a lot of excuses this year. They're better at corner. They're better at safety with the addition of Malachi Starks in the draft next to, my DPOY pick of the year and Kyle Hamilton. They're better up front. Mike Green, their edge rusher they got in the second round, is a beast. He's a monster. I just think the Ravens are going to be really good. The key for me with Buffalo, obviously, they got James Cook taken care of. Who's going to emerge as that guy at receiver for them? When I look at, is it, Shakir was their leading receiver last year. Is Keon Coleman going to, become their, that go-to outside target? We know they love to use the two tight ends, and they're in two tight ends at 12 personnel quite a bit. But, somebody's got to emerge outside. I just don't think it happens this night. And again, I think, Baltimore, I have Baltimore going to the Super Bowl, and I think it starts with this week and this night. I'm taking the Ravens in Buffalo, and I'm taking the Ravens in Buffalo by 7.
Yeah, and also another reason, Sean, I'm gonna say I got the Ravens because I feel like the Bills is really the only team in a way, and I think if Baltimore needs to get the number 1 seed so they be at home majority of the time, because we see how the Chiefs look. The Chiefs look a lot bit iffy. So, and then only if you get the Bills out the way, I can see the Ravens getting the job done against the Chiefs. The Bills is the only team that can't beat the Chiefs just no matter what. They could be Patrick Mahomes with me and you out there, and the Bills have still found a way to lose the game in the playoffs. So we'll see. But we got one more game, last game of the picks of the week. What we got?
Monday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears. The Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite.
Yeah, let me check the weather real quick because I gotta check to see what the weather gonna be on Monday. Oh no, it's gonna be a regular sunny day in Chicago. It's at home, and the same thing I said about Cam Ward. It's a possibility, but I don't know because what Ben Johnson might throw at this defense because Ben Johnson kind of know this thing or two. But just in case, do not let this game discourage you on Caleb Williams because this Minnesota defense and the things that they do is the truth. It's going to be hard. It's hard for anybody to play good against this Minnesota. That's how good their defense is and the different schemes and different blitzes. I didn't see them blitz 2 people once. Next thing you know, you got everybody. Like the different things they do on the defensive side of the ball in Minnesota. Because I know a lot of people give Sam Darnold a lot of credit, and he had an outstanding year. But I just think it was more nobody expected him to be that good. The real bread and butter for Minnesota and their success is on the defensive side of the ball. This is a defensive team. I know they got Justin Jefferson outstanding. They got Addison outstanding. The bread and butter for the Minnesota Vikings is the defensive side of the ball. I don't care what nobody else says. It looks nice on the offensive side. It's like it looked nice, but the engine to Minnesota is the defensive side of the ball. And then with the Chicago Bears, the question is just how different this offense is going to look. Is Caleb Williams going to just take this next leap? I'm going to take the Bears. Is it a fan pick? Is it a hometown pick? Possibly. I'm going to take the Bears. But Sean, in the back of my mind, my football mind, is telling me the Vikings going to win because of defense. And that's why I'm saying don't be discouraged. if Caleb Williams don't look how y'all think he's supposed to look, because the Minnesota defense is just that good. But I'm gonna take the Bears.
This is obviously a divisional matchup. These teams know each other really well. Minnesota obviously coming in, the big questions about J.J. McCarthy. This is essentially his rookie season because he didn't play last year. I have questions about him. I was someone who was never really impressed by him at Michigan, being very honest. And, so I thought last year Minnesota played very well with Sam Darnold. He did some really good things, but he was a veteran guy getting to the right situation with the right coach under Kevin O'Connell, who, again, I'm not going to ever knock Kevin O'Connell. We've seen what Kevin O'Connell can do as a head coach and as a play caller. But I do have some question marks about this team. Just, no Addison. Addison's out. Jordan Addison's out for the first 3 games of the season with the suspension. Jay Jetta's dealing with a hamstring. How healthy is he really? I know they went back and got brought Adam Thielen back. Again, very nice. I'm sure he knows the system, things like that. But again, he has not had a lot of time with J.J. McCarthy. I do have some questions. I thought Minnesota's defense is going to be really solid again under Brian Flores. We know what they do under Brian Flores. But I'm flipping to the other side, Chicago. Again, they have a lot of pieces around Caleb Williams. To me, it's not going to be perfect. They got to find a symbiosis between him and between Ben Johnson in terms of play calling, finding that comfort level of what Caleb is comfortable with. And Caleb, again, he's learning. It's a new system. They throw a lot at you in that system. Again, and also let's remember he's not Jared Goff. Jared Goff's a different quarterback, but also Jared Goff had time in that system. It was, we saw what Jared Goff's done the last couple of years in that system. I believe Caleb Williams can get there at some point. And then the big thing for me is the emergence of Rome Odunze. I think Rome Odunze is going to have a big year. I know, DJ Moore is still there, obviously. They love Colston Level in the tight end, as well. But I'm taking Chicago at home. I just think the Bears defense, while not great, they do have some really good players on that defense. And I think they're going to be chomping at the bit to get after an inexperienced J.J. McCarthy in this one. So I'm taking the Bears at home by 3.
Got the Bears too. All right. So what we pick differently? What we pick differently, Sean?
We pick 3 games differently.
Okay.
We picked Tampa Bay at Atlanta differently. We picked Carolina at Jacksonville differently, and we picked Houston at the Rams differently.
All right, we're going to see. We got 3. Let us know what you guys think about our picks of the week. So drop your picks of the week down below. Also, quick, Sean, parlay time, because Sean don't do the parlays. SB. I'm going to do a quick one for the first one. Not think too much of it. I really do mainly touchdown parlays. If I had to do a touchdown parlay, I'll probably I got Tyreek Hill possibly scoring. Tyreek Hill for sure going to score. I got the rookie Ashton Genty getting his first touchdown scoring. Jahmyr Gibbs is a guaranteed to get a touchdown. And my last 2, only because even though I said they do need to shut down their run game, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson both running a touchdown. That's the parlay. Comment your parlay down below. But that has been SB and Sean NFL picks of the week. Like you said, drop your picks down below. And we will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. And also tune in Monday for Real Take Some Fake Debates, where we're going to review our picks of the week. But yeah, see you guys on Monday. Peace out. We out.
Real takes over fake debates.